This fascinating lady has lived a life worth writing about. I sat down with singer-songwriter Jessi Colter, wife of Waylon Jennings. Her wisdom is rare, and her charm made her the darling of the outlaw movement. If you are looking to go into music or are in love with an outlaw, listen up. This one is for you.
I'm not Lisa. My name is Julie. Lisa left you years ago.
You had an interesting upbringing. You were raised by a Pentecostal preacher. That was your mother, Sister Helen. And I just want to talk about, that's interesting to me because, you know, going through the outlaw movement and everything, you know, I don't know if you would expect somebody with your spiritual upbringing to be in that situation and to hold your own the way you did.
It was a very clean upbringing, and I was, you know, I played in church, and so all these, you know, it was just, and raised in a Mormon town where you just didn't even think of drinking. There were 2 or 3 bad boys, but everybody was cool. They were happy with just normal things.
Now you better do some thinking and you'll find you got the only daddy that walked the line.
I met Waylon and immediately knew his intelligence, but you know, that other part that I had never seen was a little scary, but there was something so good about him that I recognized that, you know, and I just kind of followed the path because really what he was doing was right in the sense, I don't mean, you know, the lifestyle, but what he was doing was right, and it was so right in pursuing his music and the passion he had for them, love he had for it in songs. All that made it easier. I mean, it was like Waylon was working all the time. So, yes, he was doing first some diet pills, and then he got into some other things.
Right.
Nothing like what they call today hard drugs, but it still was stuff. You know, I think he just wanted to stay up. But, you know, those years just flowed, you know, and because I'd seen what they did in rock music, I knew what they were doing here wasn't right, and I knew it wasn't fair, and not to somebody like Waylon, who was a genius.
Yeah.
And so, you know, perhaps if it had just been some guy who was doing drugs and getting high, and I wouldn't have been there.
But you
this
knew
is a man who had something to offer the world.
Right.
And he just had a heart that's bigger than Texas.
You're looking for someone who's got it all to give. You're looking for someone who won't care how you live. You're looking for someone who won't need love from you. I ain't the one. I ain't the one.
Well, you're looking for someone to dry your tears when you cry.
It was just the path that I was to take, and when I returned to my faith, it wasn't something that Waylon understood. It appeared to him that I had changed, and I did not ever take leadership because he was spiritual and he believed.
Right.
But I don't know how much he understood until the very last, a relationship with Christ. I don't think he could quite get that he could be. I think he was such a working man that he would have to work for something. He couldn't receive that gift.
Grace. He couldn't accept the grace.
It was hard for him. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, but I didn't ever take spiritual leadership. You know,
probably you
I
knew
just
that he'd have to find it on his own.
Yes, I did. I just was guided, probably. It was just the path I was supposed to take.
Well, you're just, you know, you're just a spiritual person. I think, you know, just talking to you, it doesn't necessarily have to be preaching the Bible. You just in your wisdom, you know. That's
just
from somewhere else. Just live it,
Just
exactly.
Live it. Be sweet. That's
right. And you probably, I mean, I know you made an influence on Waylon in his life and keeping him centered. Probably not even by saying anything, but just like by being there for him and offering wisdom, which I'm sure you did many times when he was going through hard times like everybody does in the business, you know?
He called me his leaning post. He told somebody, you know, and I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? You know how girls are. You think, well, what does it mean by that?
Right.